Hi, we're super excited to present our project Like a Good Neighbor. As you can see, this is heavily inspired by State Farm's prompt of gamifying insurance education, which we took quite literally. We drew inspiration from the Untitled Goose Game, in which the player is a little duck that wreaks havoc on daily life, which is something we decided to turn around and turn into a learning lesson in which a student goes through their daily life and finds what consequences small actions can have. But don't worry, Jake from State Farm is here to help the user solve their problems. This game is created to teach students about the potential dangers that come with daily life in a humorous and engaging way, as you can see. The games here are going to be almost like a puzzle. So we can start here with our little hats, and we're going to move to our apartment room. And as we play, we have to be careful because a lot of the small decisions we make can lead to larger consequences. So here, let's start off by cooking ourselves dinner. And as you can see, we do have a little bit of a collision animation here with the little kitchen stove. So here we're going to be having our player receive a phone call. So this can go two ways here. We could either pick up the phone call or we could decline. So let's assume that we actually pick up the phone call from another room. And as you can see, this leads us to our first end scene in which our house burnt down because we were unaware, we were not paying attention to what we were doing. But it's okay because Jake from State Farm is here and has us covered. But what if we chosen not to pick up the phone call? Well, we would have gone about having our dinner, and now let's head off to bed. And now that we're in our bedroom, let's actually head off to bed. So as you can see, we're implementing little buttons, little text buttons that pop up as you approach the glowing objects. These are to help make our hand-drawn backgrounds a little more interactable for the user. So let's actually head to bed. As you can see, this takes us to another one of our end screens in which we forgot to lock our front door earlier, and so we got robbed by Larry. But it's okay because State Farm is ready to replace personal property if stolen or destroyed. So if you had managed to get through all of our tasks successfully, you would get to this congratulations screen. As you guys can tell, this is a puzzle game. So there are multiple outcomes, there are multiple paths and choices you can make. And we opted for a simple, silly interface to connect with our audience and reduce how daunting the task of finding insurance can even feel. We built it through Godot using its scripting language JD Script. Our assets were both hand-drawn and realistic assets that we used. And obviously it's all put into a visual novel-inspired interface. And additionally, we also used Figma to organize and prototype these designs and layouts. Some challenges that we ran into during this process were building boundaries in our hand-drawn backgrounds so that sprites could actually interact with objects and could travel around without accidentally moving under the background. Additionally, we're all super new to Godot, so it was a steep learning curve. Two of us were first-time hackers, and so there was a bit of a challenge balancing time between asset creation, coding, and debugging. And as a result, we often found ourselves learning from the people around us. However, we are very happy with our outcome. We successfully were able to tackle this idea that we had little experience in. And despite being new to the tools and processes, we were able to build a playable game and had a lot of fun along the way. So what's next for Like a Good Neighbor? There were a couple features we weren't quite yet able to implement, but going forward, we would like to implement some claims to do with weather conditions and on the road to kind of expand our scope. And we also wish to have more interactable objects and allow players to circle back to old decisions they've made to correct them before the day progresses. Thank you so much for watching our presentation.